Hello and welcome back to Kaiserreich, and let's just get this shit show on the road. So first of all, I used the the state transfer tool to give the Combined Syndicates of America the territory owned by the United States here that they for some reason liberated. That allows them to get their real focus tree and also allows them to, you know, de facto finish the war, because you know, they had guaranteed their independence and probably would never actually end up fighting MacArthur there. So I just gave them the territory that they, for some reason, you know, chose not to take, because I don't think that's the intended effect. Now that's going to bite us in the ass, because obviously that could have led to them basically being paralyzed forever, which would have been very helpful. I also sorted out the Japanese situation by having them peace out, white peace, using cheats. You can see the cheats here. I did some swapping just to like scope it out, and then I used AA, or like all Diplo actions allowed, and yes man, which caused the AI to automatically accept. Now, before we start, I need to talk about some visual differences. I don't know what actually caused this, but the UI is all kinds of weird right now. It's been like shifted around and stuff. Like this stuff is meant to be down here, and I'm not quite sure if I like it. And some stuff with the division icons has changed, and these buttons are completely different. I don't think they look very pretty, but and yes, a bunch of stuff has changed. I think there was something about it in the Kaiserreich patch notes, but I don't know, this doesn't seem like intended. I'm gonna look deeper into it, but for now we're gonna get into the game. But yeah, all this stuff, it sort of reeks of me playing old versions and new versions in tandem. Like I'm playing the most recent Kaiserreich version, 0.9.2, which should work because this save was started on 0.9. But I'm also playing 1.6.2 and a bunch of other mods that might be updated for 1.7. Like a bunch of mods that, you know, the mod creators don't actually supply older versions of the mod like Kaiserreich does. I should probably start saving those in a separate folder so I can just like manually add them. Anyways, this the war with the the war that Japan was embroiled in, which I believe was a holdover from Japan being at war with Germany, and then Germany capitulated, so Japan was no longer at war with them and only at war with African nations. Maybe. By the way, that war is over now, and Japan now has free reign to pursue a war with Russia, which they are actually doing, it seems. I also started designing our tank division and have started training it, though the design is not finalized because we need some more tanks. We obviously do not have enough. In fact, we need more steel. Oh god, what the fuck is this? Okay, there we go. The UI is just like all kinds of overlapping and janky right now. Yeah, we need more steel. A lot more steel. I'll buy some from the Commonwealth of Canada. Oh, there we go. Wait. No, that's not what we wanted. Okay, so the Fengshan government decided to expel the Japanese, and now the Japanese have declared war on the Fengshan government, and Japan is once again embroiled in a war in China. So I guess this will have to wait, or Japanese get involved in both wars, and the Fengshan government are suddenly on the Communard side. What joy. By the way, I was live on Twitch yesterday, just hanging out and prepping the save game for the Finland campaign, which was fun. It takes a long time though, so I'm probably going to do the rest of that off camera, but it was pleasant, like chatting about the various ways in which the world is going to change, and also seeing the various ways it changed organically while I was just like prepping the save games. Because what I do is and what I plan on doing for every campaign is I leave the campaign running until at least the 1950s, like at the end of the tech trees and all that, just to see how the world organically develops through the Kaiserreich events. And some weird shit did happen, which we'll get into in the Finland epilogue. Probably can't check the VOD on Twitch because I was playing the music mod, which would cause the VOD to get muted, I think. If not, you are, welcome to check the VOD out on my Twitch channel, which obviously is always linked in the description down below. And also, a thing I mentioned at the Twitch stream, I am going to be starting a new series soon. Might even be as soon as tomorrow, in which case there might not be a Norway video. Oh. But yeah, the plan is to start releasing videos on that new series so that I can play with the 1.7 features and stuff. And do that not too long, because I don't want to start the series in too long, because then I might be playing it still when the China rework comes out. And we get into another situation like we did with the German Empire and the Finland and Norway campaign. But yeah, the plan is to play as the United States. And kind of roll with the punches, though I do have an idea in mind for where I kind of want to lead us, but like usual, roll with the punches and just like see what happens. And obviously I can't wait to play a nation that is actually, I wouldn't say competent, because clearly Norway has displayed adequate competency here, but a nation that is poised for empire, I suppose. Like one you would assume to actually reach a status of some, like, I don't know, some sort of, like, status of influence, I suppose. We have a lot of French and Canadian troops here. We might be able to try something. Oops, I do not want to do that. The dangers of clicking too much. Why am I... It's showing me the X as if I can't move in there, but I'm clearly moving in. I have one division stay behind, can't even tell if it's staying behind. Then have it assist. And then watch as nobody else tries to help us. Now we can probably, and we should probably, pull off troops from various parts of the line. Because I mention this every time I play. You always want to focus your entire strategy on, like, you want to laser focus on the thing that is going to make you win. So in this case, the way we're going to win is if we focus all of our efforts on one part of the line. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to be able to push in without actually having concentrated troops. And then everywhere else where you're not trying to achieve a goal, you leave a token force, like like a small force as you can. Just double checking that our airplanes and everything are kind of set up, because I've got some plans. We've almost destroyed the volunteers here because they're so low on strength, which is surprising. They're CSA volunteers, aren't they? Yeah, looks like it. Why are they so low on strength? They might... Oh, they probably have no guns. That might be it. Which is also surprising considering their industrial capacity. Dude, I love this. I love the nations, especially the syndicalist nations, where you can actually have some sort of equality in the army, because of the immense amount of manpower you now get to use. I sort of assumed that was what the industrial reduction would be here. Well, the in the various conscription laws. Like, let's see, is there an icon that indicates that there are women here? No, there is not. But, yeah, I kind of assumed that was the intent behind the industrial reduction, because when men went off to war in history, women picked up the slack. Like, women started doing the jobs that the men were no longer doing. But then I suppose if you're going to have something that isn't like an ahistorical example of an army like the syndicalist armies, obviously, which did not exist, then model how their equality might surpass that of the Soviet Union, which did also have women serving in active frontline roles. Yeah, if you're gonna have an army like that, then you might actually need a national idea like that. Like, it might be war. Alright, so we're gonna take Eindhoven here. Okay, that's an attack, right? They can't move in there, right? Okay, that's an attack. Albeit a strange one. As we got another airport, that's good. And let's look at our... Well, actually, first let's look at the tech. And then afterwards, let's look at the tactical bombers and stuff. Let's continue with the field hospital. We probably are in a position now that we can add that field hospital to our divisions without feeling any need for worry. In fact, I'm going to do that just now, or right now. Now that's going to drop their experience a little bit, and it's also going to drop their organization and strength as they reinforce. Let's hope we have enough support equipment stockpiled. We definitely have enough guns. In fact, what's our most recent gun? Are we using the most modern one? Yes, we are. So we can probably tone down the gun production quite a bit. Because we aren't actually increasing the size of our army, so this the stockpile here is kind of just... Like, it's just building up for the sake of building up. It really isn't, like, it might be future-proofing us for a situation where we're, you know, not going to be creating any more guns, but at the moment I think we are still producing... Yeah, we're almost producing more guns than we're using, even though we just ramped it down to one factory. Yeah, look at this. That's insane. We don't even need to produce any guns. Like, we can probably survive for the entire war on these or almost 500k guns. In fact, we should probably look at our allies to see if any of them are low on like fighting strength, because that usually indicates that they are... Oh, also, we gotta reinforce this. That usually... Oh, never mind, we don't. They're attacking them. That usually indicates that they are low on guns, which means we should send them some. But I'm not seeing anyone. Actually, no, I'm seeing some, but that might be manpower. I'm gonna guess that that's manpower because of their situation. The Danish and the Swedish are low on strength. By the way, I went to the pharmacist and got some. I don't know if I mentioned it last episode, but I went to the pharmacist and got some like throat pain thingies, and I kind of feel better, but like the pain or the difficulty speaking that I had earlier is kind of different now, and I don't know if it's the drugs or if it's a result of the situation getting better. But I kind of feel like it is. I feel like it's getting better. Which means in the near future I might be able to ramp up video production again to, pre-illness levels. Which I would fucking love, because I've been struggling with this for like a month now. And the lack of productivity has really, like, got me feeling kind of down. Because I kind of consider myself a lazy workaholic, in the sense that I am hard to motivate to get to do something, really, and but when I'm actually motivated, I just work for forever, basically. Repair or building? I'll repair, because if we repair, then we have more factories to use on building anyways. Yeah, so like when I worked on my bachelor's thesis, like my BA in history, I think I worked for like full working days every day for a long time. But of course, you get to pick your own hours. So I would work a couple of hours or an hour until I got kind of sick of it, and then play some video games, and then go back to working. And then with a couple of cram days in ahead of the deadline. The cram days were mostly spent making sure the sources were cited correctly, which is obviously always the largest pain of any academic paper. Okay, they're once again beating their heads up against our line, but we are taking quite a few losses from it. Can we please have some traits here? I beg of you. It's 1947 and we have no traits. Oh god, please, I'm counting on you, Japan. Unless the Fengshan have, they don't seem to have anything like that. I was thinking unless the Fengshan have unless they have a focus path that leads them to war with the Soviet Union, but they don't. 70% on that atomic bomb project. I still don't know what the Norwegians would call it. It probably wouldn't be something like Project Ragnarok or some shit like that, because I feel like that's kind of on the nose. What did the French call it? Ah, fuck, I can't see their tech tree. Wait, it might be in here, actually. It might be in the focus tree. They call it... I mean, this is not it. Surely they have a nuclear bomb national focus, right? Also, the Commune of France focus tree kind of seems a bit boring. Oh, there, the Curie project. Oh, that makes sense. Madame Curie, the woman who, I believe, discovered the effects of nuclear radiation. Or just general radiation, I think. Like gamma rays or whatever. See if we can see any other examples. I believe this is the... Oh, this is not the new... there's no new tree here, apparently, but... because I think this stuff leads into the United Kingdom tree, or what? But they don't seem to have a nuke focus that I can see, at least. Oh no, there we go. Chalk River Labs. Alright, and... don't think we had any. No, we had the Oslo Analyzer and... nothing nuclear related. How about you there, Sweden? Nothing that I can see, no. I don't want to play Sweden someday. They've got a cool focus tree. I was talking to someone like a couple of days ago about my, my education path and all that, the stuff that I've chosen to do, like the career path basically for someone who studies history, and it, kind of is virtually non-existent unless you go very deep. Like, for me, the only way I'm gonna get a job that actually uses my degree is... oh, also we gotta capitulate, or sorry, capitalize. I would say capitulate. We gotta capitalize on this. But the only way I'm gonna get a degree or get a job that actually somehow utilizes my degree is if I take a master's after this BA that I have, and that will possibly get me something like a museum job or some sort of research job or something, maybe. But if I take, yeah, that's basically it. So like, I won't get a job with my BA unless I'm very lucky, or find something that, needs someone history, history educated, but isn't, part of general academia, because a lot of them have these like, a lot of academia jobs, especially university jobs, have a requirement of like a master's or a doctorate. And even so, even if you have a doctorate, you're not guaranteed to like get a job as a professor or whatever. That's something for the extremely lucky. So this person said, oh, so do you feel like the investment, like you're getting a return on the investment? Do you think that it was worth it? And I kind of struggled to understand what they meant until I saw it from, you know, and this is not me dabbing on countries where education is a bit messed up, but I didn't, yeah, until you see it from like a different perspective where you actually have to pay a lot of money to take a university education. And then I was like, oh shit. I mean, if I lived in America, no, this would be a bad education to take. But in Norway, the investment was like, I don't know, like $50 a semester. Of course, I have to pay for the bus fare and some books, but you know, that's about it. But yes, extremely so. The amount of personal development you get from just taking any sort of university education is amazing. And so very much worth it. Alright, cool, we've taken Rotterdam. And we're still continuing to just completely hammer the Commune of France, which I think their industry might be in shambles. Because when they take their territory back, they get their manpower, but they don't get a fully developed industry yet, so they need to repair all that stuff. And since we just, since it's been destroyed so many times, they don't have a lot of civilian factories to use to repair the other civilian factories, so they can repair everything else. So it all, takes fucking forever to ramp up. If we had a bunch of strategic bombers, like a full fleet of them, we would be bombing the shit out of them to make sure that never happens. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of people that are very unhappy with the situation regarding education and just general knowledge about history and politics and society and stuff in countries like, for example, America. And I feel like that has a lot to do with the devaluing of the humanities in education, because if you're taking an education in America, you kind of like, you gotta make sure it's worth it, right? You gotta make sure that that education that you take is going to make you the money to pay back your student loan. And that's why people don't study, by and large, people have stopped studying stuff like history and sociology and political science and all that stuff. And that's why people say dumb shit nowadays that people didn't used to say that, all that much. I mean, the internet is a big part of it as well, but I try to avoid like soapboxing like that, but I feel like education is something that pretty much everyone could be like, yeah, I can get behind that. You'll probably not hear me talk about like controversial political stuff, even if I run completely out of stuff to talk about, like I did this episode. But education, I think, is not something controversial. Regardless of whether or not you're, some fucking like anarcho-capitalist or anarcho. I'm trying to think of like a stupid one, like a fully organic anarcho-monarchism, something like that. That seems like a Kaiserreich ideology. Regardless of that, you probably all agree that education is fucking awesome. Let's keep doing the... No, that's not actually, because why the fuck would we do rubber? We have Insulindia. Stop that. Oh, we should do... So I read that self-propelled... Oh my god, it's a one-day research. I read that self-propelled artillery is amazing. For modern tanks. It's super strong, so I'm gonna research that and possibly put one in our divisions. Well, in our division. By the way, we are at the end of the video, so where the fuck is the war screen? Oh my god, it's so ugly. Let me just have a double, or like a real quick check to see if we took a lot of losses this episode. We took some, at least. Let's see if we inflicted a bunch. Holy fuck. 7.31 million losses. 1.5 million are ours. Denmark doing work, as always. New England doing work. And 2 Sicilies, of course, and 2 Sicilies. 2 Sicilies. Dude, 2 Sicilies are one of the major heroes of this timeline. Wait, Papal States are a what? It looked like it said it was in March. Like in Europe and Universalis. But anyways, that is it for this episode. If you would like to reach me on social media, you know where you can find the links. I say this every episode, so you probably remember. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can use the Patreon link in the description down below. I would be forever grateful. Of course, it is not necessary for you to do so, and you should only do so if you have the means and feel comfortable financially enough to, you know, be able to give money away. And that is about it. Follow me on Twitch, you nerds, please, because I really enjoy talking to you on like live, and that is the best place to do it. Oh, and also I can't live stream on YouTube until you get like 1,000 subscribers, which at this rate it's gonna happen eventually, but I want to do it now. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.